Hi, welcome to Jamplay.com. My name is Michael Hawkeye Herman, and we're doing a lesson series on blues songwriting. And the first thing I need to explain to you is the basics of blues music. I've given a lot of guitar lessons on blues music here at Jamplay, and you can go back and look at those. But right now I need to encapsulate what blues is about. First of all, I want you to know that blues music has a tendency to be thought of by the general public as being sad music, because of the negative experiences that African Americans who created the music experienced through slavery and post-slavery times all the way up through modern times. And blues music grew from out of African American society, yet you will find blues music in every kind of music, American roots music, in bluegrass music, you'll find it in country music, you'll find it in rock and roll. We wouldn't have any rock and roll if it wasn't for blues music, and especially also jazz music. Most jazz musicians learn how to improvise by first playing blues music. But in this lesson series, we're talking about blues songwriting. So I'm going to give you a quick example of a 12-bar blues, just like this. Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? I said, good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? You know I'm doing all right. Good morning, how are you? I laid down last night, I was rolling from side to side. I laid down last night, I was rolling from side to side. You know, I could not sleep. I wasn't sick, but I was dissatisfied. So I say it one more time. Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? I said, good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? You know I'm doing all right. Good morning, how are you? So there's an example of a 12-bar blues song, and in the song, the person is saying that they couldn't sleep last night, they weren't sick, they were just dissatisfied. But the song also says, I'm doing all right, good morning, how are you? So part of the important aspect of blues music is the freedom that blues allows a person to not just express themselves, but free themselves from their problems and sing about good times, bad times, whatever. Blues is about all aspects of life. Blues grew out of the African American experience and influenced almost every aspect of American music. The great blues songwriter Willie Dixon said, blues is the roots and everything else is the fruits. So let's take a look at what makes blues music. It could be happy, it could be sad, it could be a narrative about something that happened to you or somebody else. It doesn't have to be told in the first person. It could be a story. There's a great blues song called Stagger Lee that's about a gambler who gets killed, of course. And there are blues songs that are love songs. So let's just check out the various aspects of what makes blues music. Now, the first thing that I want to explain to you is that, generally speaking, blues music is a 12-bar form of music, and its poetry format, the poetic format, is AAB. So let me explain those two things. First of all, 12-bar blues means there are 12 measures. And it's generally in 4/4 time. So that would mean that there's 48 beats. 12 times measures times 4 beats per measure is 48 beats. Usually the chords are the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord. Now, if you don't know this, I want you to look at the supplemental material, because in the supplemental material that accompanies this lesson, you will see a typical blues form, 12 bars, and you will also see an explanation of how blues, those 1, 4, and 5 chords, what they are in every key. So let's look at a blues song like Good Morning Blues. What's the guy saying? He's saying, good morning blues, blues, how do you do? Good morning blues, blues, how do you do? I'm doing all right, good morning, how are you? That is done over a 12-bar format. The poetic format, again, is AAB. What does AAB mean? AAB means that you say a line, A, then you repeat it, A, and then the rhyming line is B. So, good morning blues, blues, how do you do? A. Good morning blues, blues, how do you do? That's the second A. And then the B is, I'm doing all right, good morning, how are you? Same thing, second chorus, went something like, I laid down last night, I rolled from side to side. A. I laid down last night and I rolled from side to side. Second A. I wasn't sick, I was just dissatisfied. That's the B section, the B part of the stanza. Now, in music, we usually refer to these as verses. So each verse is A, A, B. You say something, you repeat it, and then you rhyme it. In poetry, that's called, they refer to verses as stanzas. So the first verse was, good morning blues, blues, how do you do? Good morning blues, blues, how do you do? I'm doing all right, good morning, how are you? That could be called a verse, or it could be called a stanza. When you study poetry, they call it a stanza. In music, we usually call it a verse. And the second stanza was, I laid down last night rolling from side to side. A, laid down last night, rolled from side to side. Second A. And then the B rhymer was, I wasn't sick, I was just dissatisfied. Now, the interesting thing about this is that if you take away the second A line, you have a rhyming couplet. So instead of being AAB, you now have A-B. For example, good morning blues, blues, how do you do? A. I'm doing all right, good morning, how are you? B. That's rap music. Rap music is all in rhyming couplets. You say a line, and then you rhyme that. The next line rhymes. That's a derivative of blues music. Rhyming couplets go along with blues music in terms of ancient aspects of music. I'm not saying that blues came first. Rhyming couplets have been around for a long time, going all the way back to Shakespeare and before. But in blues music, we use a rhyming couplet, but we say the first line 2 times, A, B. A, B throughout the song, and that's 12 bars. And if you counted it, you would see that it fits over a 12-bar format like this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 5, 2, 3, 4. 6, 2, 3, 4. 7, 2, 3, 4. 8, 2, 3, 4. 9, 2, 3, 4. 10, 2, 3, 4. 11, 2, 3, 4. 12, 2, 3, 4. Now, I don't think very many of you probably ever counted like that. But I've been a professional musician my whole life, and one of the first things that I learned as a professional musician is you never count like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't count like that. You count like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4, etc. And the reason why we do that is so that we don't get lost. If you keep counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, by about the 7th measure, you don't know where you are in a song. And guess what? In many, many jazz tunes are 32 bars. And so if you're just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, by the 16th measure, you can easily get lost and not know where you are. So what I wanted you to see, first of all, is how do you count? Now, I was playing a shuffle rhythm. I don't have to play the shuffle rhythm. I can just strum and go 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. So the first thing I want you to know is that the most standard format for blues music is 12 bars, using the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord in any key that you choose. The 12 bars consists of 12 measures, 4 beats per measure. That's 48 times that you would tap your foot. So that's 48 beats in the entire musical stanza or verse. And the poetic format is almost always in standard blues music, and we will look at variations as we get into this series. The poetic format is almost always A, B. In other words, you say a phrase, you repeat that phrase, and then you rhyme with that phrase. So let's listen and look at Good Morning Blues one more time like this, just so that we know the format. Good morning blues, blues, how do you do? Are you counting with me? Good morning blues, blues, how do you do? You know I'm doing all right. Good morning, how are you? 2, 3, 4. Now, count. Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? You know I'm doing all right. Good morning, how are you? That's an explanation of the basic format for blues. We will look at other formats in future lessons, but right now I just want you to go back and look at this lesson again if you must, so that you understand what the poetic format of blues is and that it fits over a 12-bar musical format generally. Thanks. We'll see you next lesson.